The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I am your superior web headmaster, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs, and we have a doozy. There's just so much to unpack this episode. I'm going to be straight and fully date this. This is happening right now, 9:48 p.m., December 11th, 2025. The video games awards are happening right fucking now, and it's going to be, we might be adding stories as we go. It's a grab bag, Netflix WB, Disney AI slop, Supergirl, all kinds of shit. Lots to talk about, but I'm not alone. I am, of course, joined by my co-host with the co-most, your Red Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman.
It's a bad life.
Oh, man.
I'm getting that American Dad clip a lot recently. You know what? I'm happy in the first 5 seconds when I wake up in the morning until I remember who I am and what my life is about.
I hope that's how every single fucking Hollywood exec feels right now. I really do. I know they don't. I wish they did. I wish they did. I hope they do.
Let's make
it.
it.
A couple bits of housekeeping for you guys right now. This episode is going to be coming out on the 12th. It's going to be coming out tomorrow morning. Very big things happening in Epic Confrontations this coming Tuesday. You know what? I will let this promo speak for what I'm about to say.
You have to face the Chungus. You have to face the reigning Bombad Cast Trivia Champion. You have to face the #1 ranked Epic Confrontations player, undefeated, having
Team
smoked.
Big Chungus.
Team Big Chungus, baby. And I'll tell you what.
My trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. Follow this, there's only one thing you should know.
Michael, you're indefinitely banned from the league until further notice.
Wait, what? Alden, how does that belt feel that I set you up for before you fucking cast me aside, thinking that you are the main event? I was the one who schemed and toiled away so that you could reap the rewards. And you think that I'm just gonna let you carry that belt? Sit on that throne.
I trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Tuesday. Let me get the date right because I was about to say it and I think I was wrong. Hold on. What the hell? This is not working. This coming Tuesday, December 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alden, the Iconoclast Diaz, the undefeated singles champion of the world, is going head-to-head with his former teammate, my current teammate, to take the belt he does not deserve off of his shoulders and sully up that perfect record of his. I could not be more excited for this. This match is going to be batshit crazy. For those of you who are late to the party for this Star Wars Trivia League, Alden, since he won the first Hyperspace Gauntlet, if Michael wins, Alden has the ability to basically challenge Michael that night and run it back. So there is a very good chance you are getting 2 for the price of 1 next Tuesday. So be there. Be there to see the belt change hands. Be there to watch Alden lose twice in one night. Star Wars in a Galaxy YouTube channel, live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eli might try to simulcast it on TNAP. I don't know. We haven't ironed that out yet. We haven't even talked about it, but I know sometimes with live events he likes to do that. So stay tuned for all of that. I will be escorting my teammate to the ring so that I can load the gun and cock it for him to execute Alden Diaz.
A real gun.
A real gun. No, but the copyright and me saying fuck so many times in the first 5 minutes, y'all aren't seeing this episode.
Big
But
AI
all
is
of that
taking us
said-
down.
What?
Big AI is taking us down. They paid $40 million just so this wouldn't come out.
But all of that said, one last bit of housekeeping, a brief word from our sponsors at Sunday's Bloody Mary. You guys know the drill. Sunday's Bloody Mary has the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the multiverse with their 3-time award-winning spicy Caesar mix, as well as their mild and traditional mixes if the spice isn't for you. This former bartender trusts only one Bloody Mary mix, the only Bloody Mary mix better than a from-scratch Bloody. So if you want to shake up your Bloody Mary game for the rest of your days, go to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop and use the code TNAP, TNAP at checkout to get 10% off your order. And help out your favorite nerds while you do it. Travis, I wish I had a Bloody Mary with me because news like this makes a motherfucker want to drink.
Yeah.
We're jumping into it. Exactly a week ago, when you're watching this, Netflix announced that they are in the process of acquiring Warner Brothers. Now, it has been a story that has been in the news for a minute. We haven't really touched on it a lot. Because Road to Doomsday, which also thank you everybody for so much of the positive feedback for Road to Doomsday. We've been having a blast with it. Guardians of the Galaxy episode out on Monday with Eli, actually. Did you need a drink? I do need a drink. Thank you.
Brought to you by Happy Dad.
But not brought to us by Happy Dad. Brought to us by Sunday's Bloody Mary, but Happy Dad is a...
Get your Bloody Marys from Sunday's Bloody Marys.
And I don't think I have any mixers for me to be drinking just whiskey right now. Although at this point I should just grab what little Crown Apple I have left and just let this episode get real fun. But
The Soviet flag's coming out tonight.
yeah. Oh yeah. What are we doing? I can't believe I didn't change that yet. Okay. So just because we haven't had a lot of time to talk about the news, nobody really knew what was happening with a lot of this Warner stuff. Just there's been a lot of rumblings. Netflix is, as of now, in very serious conversations to close a deal to acquire Warner Brothers. Travis, do you have the exact figure?
My brain is telling me 83 million. Or 83 billion with a B. Billion.
Yeah.
It's about 1/6 of an Elon Musk.
So okay, you were close. So
Is it
the current bid is 72 billion plus debt.
okay? Yeah, that makes sense.
Is the current lay of the land.
Yeah.
So the basic plan right now is that so right now Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers Discovery. If the deal were to go through, Netflix is acquiring the Warner Brothers part of that. And then Discovery is going to go back to being its own thing. Now, the hitch in this is that Paramount, this is the one article I forgot to pull. Paramount is basically re-entering a bid to try to get it back. Yeah, so right now the current bid from Paramount is $108 billion.
Yes.
To get WB. I just quickly Googled Paramount, a very funny article from Hollywood Reporter reading, Stephen Colbert wonders why The Late Show was canceled if Paramount has $108 billion to offer Warner Brothers.
Well, Jared, I don't know if you know this. Do you know where that $108 billion is coming from?
Oh, where?
Saudi Arabia.
Wait, hold on. We're just gonna like challenge the fucking copyright gods now.
To the new talk. Let's get straight to it. Come on.
Anyway,
Yeah. Saudi Arabia and Larry Ellison want to own CNN for old Donny Boy. And somehow that's the act that somehow that's worse than the end of cinema as we know it.
like, really, man. Like, there's a like. This is one of those things where it's like this is something we feel an obligation to talk about, but like I really don't have anything to say that hasn't been said already. You know, like this is bad. This is what antitrust laws exist for. None of them are going to matter. And I want to make one thing abundantly clear because, like, we don't get these types of comments often, but I see them lobbed at other people where it's like, oh, like Disney gets a pass for certain things. Disney buying 20th Century Fox wasn't good either. And I think that's something we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Like, the consolidations are bad. Now, yes, these companies are putting themselves up for sale. But, like, and I find myself at a weird crossroads because on one hand, I don't want to see like movie making giants just get snuffed out. On the other hand, these gigantic giga monopolies are obviously horrendous and terrible. That said, you know, they are bad. This amount of concentration of power, like, it really is having to pick between the lesser of two evils, and there's not that much difference between them. Like on the Netflix side of things, like Netflix is also going out of their way to appeal to the Trump administration. We know that Ted Sarandos, or not Sarandos, but the other guy, met with Trump recently before all this. You know, Trump spoke semi-favorably about the Netflix stuff, and quite frankly, I hate to say this, I think the worst thing going for Paramount right now is Marjorie Taylor Greene on 60 Minutes.
Oh, I didn't know that was happening or has happened.
Yeah. She did an interview on 60 Minutes where, you know, it was the usual Marjorie Taylor Greene pretending to grow a fucking conscience.
I signed up to be a Christian ethno-fascist, but not a pedophile.
Yeah. You know, people pretending that she speaks for the pro-Gazan anti-genocide wing of any type of political movement when her entire belief system is rooted in actual anti-Semitism, not the Miss Rachel brand of anti-Semitism, you fucking troglodytes.
It's my favorite game. Are they anti-Israel because they're anti-genocide, or are they anti-Israel because they want the Jews to be involved in, like, to also be genocided? It's my favorite game.
Yeah, I know. I love having to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene, Miss Rachel, Hassan Piker, and Nick Fuentes all in the same breath.
Fuentes didn't even get nominated for Anti-Semite of the Year.
You do know the reason for that, right? By the way, before we go way too far in this sidebar,
I don't. Please enlighten me.
Because Fuentes was nominated last year, he was not eligible for this year. Which the fact that we have nomination rules. And it's not just this guy. Like also, where the fuck is Asmongold on that list? I'm sorry. Like Nick Fuentes does an interview with Tucker Carlson. It goes like, "Oh, I love Hitler," and then Asmongold's like, "Yeah, based. He's based. That's the most based thing I've ever heard." It sounds like Jerry's Rip Glorton character on Bombadcast for fuck's sake. God, we're crashing out and it's for 15 minutes in. Jesus Christ. Okay, back on target.
Monopoly
With
bad.
Netflix, what?
So I just said Monopoly bad.
Monopoly bad. With Netflix, it is mostly the Monopoly thing. Again, Netflix has as much like kowtowing to not as much kowtowing to the Trump administration, blood on its hands as Paramount, but it is complicit. They're bending the knee. My like hyper woke take has been that I think before Paramount fully just became state media, for the most part, that Netflix, I think, has been doing a lot of softening of a lot of really bad reputations. You know, I think that Netflix has become kind of a safe haven for your like anti woke,
Yeah.
comedians. I think it started with the Chappelle shit.
Oh yeah.
Like again, I'm not here to say that if you like UFC, you're a bad person or that you're a Republican or a fascist,
But
whatever.
but statistically,
But Netflix doing all of these pay-per-views, I think leans that way. I think, because Dana White is basically a part of the fucking administration. Joe Rogan apparently trusts the CIA now, sitting next to his Jimi Hendrix mugshot. But Netflix is bad on that front, but is not to the magnitude with the absolute state media of Paramount right now, where we have people like Barry Weiss running CBS News. We have the obvious politically motivated termination of Stephen Colbert. And
no, we don't know why they didn't. The show was doing bad, Jared.
yes,
That's the reason.
Shouts out anytime with Ken and Alden, and also another plug next Thursday on the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens episode of KNR with me and Ken coming out talking about it. Very excited for that to hit everybody's feeds. But like Ken, Ken had like a really like level, like clear take on all of that, where he was like, late night is not dying, it's dead. And that like, yes, it's certainly politically motivated, but this was coming. It's just a matter of like, now's as good a time as any because Colbert won't stop making Epstein jokes. It's all of that. But Paramount having their hands on WB is really fucking scary. Now, thankfully, if Discovery is because it sounds like that's set in stone, Discovery is spun out into its own thing, that CNN will no longer be a part of that. Because CNN is only under the WB umbrella because of the Discovery half of things as of now. Mm-hmm. So that will go its own way. Thankfully. But this is fucking bad, man. Like it's ugly, and I just want to like there's a specific quote from Ted Sarandos that I just really resent the shit out of. And it's about the theatrical experience, which, going back to like the infancy of Nerd Academy, 5 years ago, we were talking about how terrified we were of what the pandemic could do to theaters. And they've held on by strings. And Warner Brothers, between Sinners, Superman, and Minecraft, had the most asses in seats from a single studio this year. And that cannot go without saying. But just to read the quote here. My pushback has mostly been in the fact of the long exclusive windows, which we really don't think are that consumer friendly. He said AMC and other chains are looking to reestablish a 30 or 45-day window to energize moviegoers that dwindled during COVID. The biggest chains often won't run Netflix films with truncated windows. And that's true. Y'all know I love Rian Johnson. I love the Knives Out movies. Travis, do you have any idea how hard it was to find a screening of Wake Up Dead Man in the greater Pittsburgh area?
I'm sure it was atrocious.
One of the biggest theaters in the area was not showing it. Like the AMC, the Waterfront AMC.
Yeah.
They had Glass Onion just a few years ago. It was and like, you know what? This is cool. A privately owned, like independent movie theater at the Waterworks in Aspinwall. things that mean nothing to those of you who are not from Southwest PA. But like that, that is where Taylor and I had to go to see Wake Up Dead Man. And I was so happy to spend my money in a place like that, but also, I like my points, I like my A-list, whatever. But Alden was bitching about how it was damn near impossible to find a screening for Frankenstein, a goddamn Guillermo del Toro joint about one of the most iconic and famous and celebrated horror novels of all time. Damn near impossible to find a screening for.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that is the theaters pushing back on Netflix, but part of that is Netflix refusing to give these movies actual releases. And I'm sorry, I resent the framing that a long release window is not consumer friendly. I'm sorry, as streaming continues to bubble up and bubble up and bubble up and just turn into cable, but worse, because your cable subscription didn't inexplicably lose Showtime. Your cable subscription didn't inexplicably lose AMC. You had cable, you could watch Breaking Bad. You had the cable plan that had Encore on it, and Encore's showing Spider-Man. Well, you could watch Spider-Man all motherfucking month. That's how that shit used to work. But now we can just pull shit off of streaming whenever we damn well choose. Again, yeah. I never want this show to come across like we give Disney a pass, but look at what they did with Willow. I'm still not convinced that the Acolyte is not going to eventually be pulled. The only thing that I think keeps the Acolyte safe is the Star Wars brand.
Yeah,
truthfully, and I worry about that.
Well, and
the ability. I'm sorry, but the ability to be like, okay, so just have cable, but worse. Just have cable, but worse. And in a week, we'll put this on Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I don't want. Again, you and I, especially for this show, we're good at seeing things opening weekend because you want to be able to put out an episode on Monday after something comes out. But for normal people who have busy work schedules, who have shit going on, maybe money's tight, can't really afford having a Netflix subscription, but hey, I'll go on Stimulus Tuesday, the week after, the day after payday, when the tickets are 20% off, and go to a matinee and whatever. When you have these super truncated releases, I don't understand how that's consumer friendly. I'm not being hyperbolic and I'm not being facetious or rhetorical when I say this. I want somebody to explain to me how shorter release windows are A, good for the consumer, and B, good for the fucking industry.
Well, it's because when he says consumer, he really means shareholder.
Fair.
Because that's his consumer, right? And so for him, any longer in a theater that a Netflix property has to spend is time that you're not paying Netflix to watch it directly, that someone else gets a cut. And it is kind of this weird itemization we've seen now of properties, of streaming rights, where, like you said, that shit just randomly leaves now. Streaming rights used to, that's how I think Netflix got away with being the guy for so long because it was the Wild West and no one knew the value of what they were holding in streaming rights at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
They also didn't understand that the moment you dilute it, that value goes away.
Right. Yeah.
The ability to be able to, again, Disney having almost all of their shit on Netflix for the longest time. Every single Marvel movie, all the fucking new Star Wars movies. Yeah. I feel like watching The Last Jedi on Netflix right now.
I stopped buying MCU. I was collecting the Blu-rays for a while. And I think around Thor Ragnarok. I didn't buy. No, it was Guardians 2. I didn't buy Guardians 2 because it came out on Netflix first, and I was like, if I'm gonna rewatch this, I'm just gonna I have a Netflix subscription.
Right.
So at the time, silly little me did not, Disney Plus was an apple in Bob Iger's eye, and I just insane.
It's so bleak that like I have to be basically choose between state media and what might be an industry killing monopoly.
Acquisition. Yeah.
Like it's so bleak. Like none of this should be happening in the first place. So much of this is because the horrific management of WB and the fact that they have basically been just whoring themselves out to anybody who will buy them for so long. Like it's terrifying, and like there's also a part of me that like the corporate hubris of finding out that like Netflix was considering a bid for Disney. Are you coked out of your fucking mind? Seriously?
Well, I mean, if we've learned anything in the last 24 hours, maybe they would have got a bite.
Maybe they would have gotten a bite. You're right. But it's just I find myself so like with the wind taken out of my sails, and one of probably our third story today is going to be the Supergirl trailer, and a story about the Batman Part 2, and like I'm so excited for Supergirl. I'm so excited for the Batman Part 2. I'm so, like I am giddy to see these movies. They belong in a movie theater, and again, like I don't watch enough Netflix originals to be able to speak on this because, quite frankly, I think the only Netflix originals I have really, truly given a shit about that weren't documentaries. There's a great Waco doc. The Killing Bin Laden doc is absolutely hilarious if you know anything about American foreign policy in the 2000s. And, the fact that they have an actual info warrior who claims that he was the man who shot and killed Osama bin Laden there just running his mouth. Mr. If social media didn't exist, you all would be my concubines guy, being talked to like he's a serious person. Outside of that, the only Netflix originals I've ever given a damn about in recent memory have been the Fear Street movies. And the original Fear Street trilogy, like that's become a Halloween tradition for Taylor and I. Like we will sit down and watch all three movies. And then a new one came out this year. And that was the time I went, oh, this is what people are talking about with Netflix dialogue. And I lied because Taylor and I are trying to get caught up on Stranger Things. We need to start season 4 so we can catch up with the rest of it. Road to Doomsday's made that a little difficult because I would like to see the ending of this because I like the first season a lot and I've liked a lot of what I've seen, but like this reputation Netflix has and like the internal stuff that is leaked out where it's like, we need it to be second screen friendly. We need this to be friendly for people who are in the other room. No.
Yep. Yeah.
No. Absolutely not.
But how can we sell them things?
Oh my God, Travis.
How can they play the games on the Netflix app on their phone while the thing's playing in the bottom right corner?
Can I also admit something?
Yeah.
I don't know if this makes me an idiot. Maybe it does. I don't understand how you play video games on Netflix.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I want to say it's...
I don't like didn't they just say like Red Dead is on goddamn Netflix now? I don't understand how that works. Am I supposed to be like riding a horse with my TV remote? Again, maybe I'm the boomer. Maybe I'm the old lady trying to print out a YouTube video. I don't know. But like what is
I don't know how
this?
it works on smart TVs. Unless it's like you have to do it on your phone. If you try to do it, they're just showing it off. I don't know. I haven't tried. I imagine it's like how Facebook games used to, how like when we were younger and we were too young to be on Facebook, everyone had a Facebook so they could play the farm one. Whatever it was called. We didn't. I know you and I didn't. But
Yeah,
we played real games like Force Unleashed.
a lot.
Too much.
Maybe too much. But we understood it, so we're okay. Yeah, man. Fuck.
Could you
And, like,
imagine if somehow, by some miracle, the DOJ is like, no, this can't happen. What are you talking about? Like, imagine this is their one, the broken clock is right this one time. Imagine.
I don't know.
They'll be
Man.
too busy indicting James Comey for the 5th time.
All right. Okay. Our next story. Okay. Disney's in a relationship with OpenAI for $1 billion, allowing Sora to make content, and I say that as a slur, with a bunch of their IP. This blows my mind. And I am going to change the background only because the red is actually giving me a little bit of a headache. It might be the news, but it is kind of hard on the eyes. But Disney is the company that is so notorious for, like, an elementary school did a fundraiser and they showed Frozen and charged like $3 a ticket. And Disney was like, you better shut this shit down or we're going to drop the fucking hammer on your head. And now we're just fully like, yeah, copyright infringement is cool. Like, I was worried about this during like the Star Wars Fortnite season. Like AI Vader was horrifying. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot they did
especially
AI voice lines. I did forget about that. I forgot they did AI voice lines.
Mhm.
Yeah.
AI voice lines, they had to patch like 18 fucking times because there were recordings all over the place of someone just getting Vader to say the N-word. You know? And like, I'll be honest, you know, I was like, oh, I want to see how far I can push it. I asked Darth Vader if he thought 9/11 was an inside job. And his response was something to the effect of, Apprentice, your fascination with aerial disasters distracts from your pursuit of the dark side of the Force. And I was like, okay, so you know what 9/11 is.
Anakin Skywalker was in New York City on 9/11.
I mean, listen, when the invisible hand hits that runway on Coruscant, like, it does take out like 3 buildings. I mean, you know, but I just can't believe. I just don't get it. I fundamentally don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the excitement. I don't get what any company has to gain from this specifically. Like, again, maybe it's because like maybe it's because I have not offloaded all of my thinking to ChatGPT, but I don't get what the appeal is here.
If I had to guess, I think they know trying to fight it legally will not work in some way, shape, or form. They could easily oopsie daisy themselves into a Bugs Bunny situation, where Warner Brothers, speaking of, I think sued Meat Canyon. I think
That sounds right. I know
that made-
somebody recently like filed a lawsuit as well, like a media company.
Yeah, basically,
can't
there's this
remember
old video on YouTube of Bugs Bunny being a sexual pest. And I think it's a Meat Canyon video. And Warner Brothers sued, and basically the argument back from Meat Canyon was, so you're admitting Bugs Bunny canonically as a sex pest. And this is a representation of your character because he's a sex pest. And so, like, you have weird
Isn't
shit
that-
like that. Man.
Is the beat? No. What came first, Big Chungus or the Stinks Real Good?
I think Stinks Real Good. I think the video came first.
And then people found the thing where he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I only was able to realize those things are connected because I played the EC promo, and Michael and Alden's team was called Big Chungus. Like, I got to be so for real. That's the only reason why that came to me so quickly.
So my guess is Disney is also, I don't know how invested Disney already was in the AI bubble. Like if they have money in Nvidia or like anyone else right now. How up to date are you on the AI bubble chatter? Like,
I know that there are a lot of people saying that when the AI bubble bursts, it's either going to be catastrophic or it's the only there's going to be a brief window to like save how the economy is structured right now.
So do you want kind of a very brief breakdown of what's going on?
You work with money and numbers as your day job, so you go as in detail as you need to for this to make sense to me. Because I will say, like, I would say I am net ignorant about AI as it currently stands. Because again, we're not doing like running an algorithm that can isolate cancer cells. It's shitty AI videos about like Darth Vader meeting Darth Malgus made by a bald fucking fraud. Like like that's where I'm at. Like I'm just like Butlerian Jihad. Like I don't know enough. I know there's a bubble about to burst, I should say.
Yeah. So basically, economy bad, everything expensive, market good.
Affordability is a hoax.
Affordability is a hoax, but the stock market's going fucking crazy because the GDP is going up. And the GDP is going up. So the economy must be good. Everything must be good. Why is everyone saying the economy's bad? Because they can't buy groceries. Just buy stock instead. It's that simple.
Eat your stock in NVIDIA.
Eat your stock. By the way, 40% of that GDP is AI. 40% of the current American GDP is some kind of production in Gen AI. Now, what that money?
Can I interject for a moment?
Yes.
With like, I'm not an economist. I don't know enough about this shit to have an opinion on like the monies of it all beyond surface level thing. What I do know. Now I'm going to tell a quick story. The first time I ever played Risk. I think you know this story.
I don't know if I do.
It was me, Spencer, and our buddy Josh. And we were playing like a Star Wars Risk from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There were only 3 factions. It was Galactic Empire, Rebel Alliance, Hutt Cartel. And I was playing as the Galactic Empire. And like every faction had one of 2, I think it was like 2 ways each that they could lose. And I had never played Risk before. Like some of the game mechanics were kind of going over my head. And we were also just like kind of bullshitting the whole time. But I was having a lot of unlucky dice rolls. And the main way for the Empire to lose was because there were all of these like little tokens. Like on one side was a Galactic Empire symbol, on the other side, most of them were like red guards, like the Royal Guards.
Mm-hmm.
One of them had Emperor Palpatine on them. And the main way for the Empire to lose was if the planet you put the Emperor on was captured by the Rebel Alliance. And I was having a lot of really bad dice rolls against Spencer, but I was crushing Josh. And Spencer was playing as the Rebel Alliance, and Josh was playing as the Hutt Cartel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was building up a decent amount of resources, like pummeling Josh. but Spencer was like coming right up behind me. And I realized very quickly that I did not really have a good mathematical way to win. I had to like conquer like X amount of planets occupied by the rebels. So I put almost every single resource I had on protecting, I want to say it was Sullust. And it took Spencer, I think, like 30, 40 minutes to finally carve his way through the gigantic fleet I had on Sullust. And once he did it, he found a red guard and then realized the Emperor was hiding wherever the hell he was on a pretty lightly defended world. And then in the next 2 or 3 turns from Spencer, in about half the time it took him to take out this one red guard, he captured the Emperor and I was done. The AI bubble to me feels like we put like 30 Star Destroyers around a red guard.
It's worse.
Wait.
So what happened is you put 30 Star Destroyers around what you're telling people is a red guard. And when they flip the token, it melts in their hand and nothing was there to begin with. And actually the Star Destroyers
I drew a
weren't
really
real
good picture of a token while nobody was looking and
Exactly.
put it on Sullust.
Exactly. So that 40% of the GDP that is AI, this is how all of that GDP growth is happening. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm NVIDIA.
Okay.
I use some of my capital that I have. I have money, however I have money. I'm going to start a new business, a new startup called Jarod Company. And Jarod Company, your whole thing, you're going to do AI research, you're going to do all this stuff. You know who you have to buy the chips from to get your computers going and do all this AI research?
From Travidia.
Yeah. And when you do that, you're taking all the capital I gave to you as funding and giving it back to me. You know what both of those things were?
What?
Economic output that boosts the GDP. Every quarter, when NVIDIA has their earnings call, everyone that has any money in the stock market does one of these, and they're gripping for dear life. Because if they come up even a cent under, people might start to realize that there's nothing fucking there except the death of our planet. The moment it's shown that there's nothing to gain from this. By the way, the military has a chatbot now.
Yeah.
That called double tapping a boat a war crime. But, you know.
Yeah.
That's
if
cool.
I'm not mistaken, it's the same chatbot that also called itself Mecha Hitler a couple months ago.
No, this one's Gemini. It's not Grok.
Oh, okay. I knew the DOW. You bunch of fucking pansies. Had their moment where there was something to do with Grok in the military, and it was right after Mecha Hitler, and it was crazy.
Yeah. No, the chatbot that Hegseth just pushed out was Gemini powered. Or at least that's what he said in the thing. But yeah, so basically NVIDIA has been starting companies, and like they're not the only one. Anyone involved, AMD, anyone, has been passing money back and forth to resemble economic output so that the GDP can fire up so that all their investments bump up.
Right.
It's like the 2008 mortgage crisis, except there weren't even any homes. Like there's not even any mortgages. They're just they think they found the infinite money glitch. Do you remember the Chase money glitch from like last year where people didn't know what check fraud was? NVIDIA doesn't know what check fraud is. And then by like next year, we're probably going to find out. We're going to find out what like $5 trillion in check fraud looks like. In other news, there's a play playing in Pittsburgh about Enron, so that's cool. We get
Maybe I'll
discounted.
walk out of here tomorrow and you never see me again. That's really what I want to do.
Yeah.
Damn.
So at least now they're going to have a sequel.
It's really just boggling to me that Disney's going to open themselves up to this. Again, I'm not worried about like maintaining Disney's brand identity. Like, I don't fucking care. But maybe there's going to be guardrails, like maybe there's some type of stopgap that I'm reading the I'm seeing like fractions of like lists of characters. Like,
It's all animals and masked characters, is my understanding. It's all non-human faced characters.
let me look it up.
At least that's what I think I read before. God only knows. Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to get some kind of profit cut for this.
I'm interrupting you for a moment. I made a very bad mistake for my own search results because I googled Sora Disney character. I don't play Kingdom Hearts. I forgot that's what that guy's name is.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make all the ads real shitty when I get them on TikTok. Has your TikTok been nothing but fucking Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro ads, by the way?
It hasn't been. I wish it was, because boy, do I love me some Jordan Peterson. I don't know why I had to. I don't know what spurred me on, but I got to bust out my Jordan Peterson voice. Like, I think on Bombadcast a couple weeks ago. And I was joking. I was like, I'm always doing Alex Jones and I'm always doing Trump. I was like, I never get the opportunity to defeat the dragon and clean my room, but so this is from the WaltDisneyCompany.com announcement. So they have images on the website that are Lightning McQueen, Stitch, fucking R2D2. But the list they have in the article, among characters fans will be able to use in their creations are Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Lilo, that's a human face, Stitch, Ariel, human face, Belle, human face, Beast, Cinderella, Baymax, Simba, Mufasa, as well as characters from the worlds of Encanto, Frozen, Inside Out, Moana.
Yeah, okay, so maybe
so we have off rip at least 2 fucking characters who are canonically children. So keep that in the fucking chamber. Toy Story, Up, Zootopia, and iconic animated or illustrated versions. That's a fun little get around. Of characters like Black Panther, Captain America. God, that's going to be bad. Deadpool, Jesus, Groot, Iron Man, Loki, Thor, Thanos, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. Did you say Leia? It's Leia Organa to you, motherfucker. The Mandalorian, Stormtroopers, Yoda, and more.
Okay, so it's worse than I thought.
Now, they're saying illustrated or animated versions, so it is not going to be the direct likeness of Chris Evans, RDJ, Hiddleston, Hamill, Harrison, Carey, it's the Mandalorian. He's never going to take off the helmet, so it's not Pedro, but it's still going to be Pedro. It's going to be Pedro's voice. I don't know, man. I don't want to be weird. I don't want to take this to a weird place, but again, I sure hope there are guardrails, because the Lilo and Moana thing, and Frozen in particular, is giving me like the Nom flashbacks of like Elsa got Spider-Man pregnant and they need to fight the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah. 2016 called. They want their YouTube kids back.
I'm sorry. Again, I don't care about the brand identity. That's not my problem. That's not my circus. It's not my those aren't my monkeys. But A, you're a bunch of hypocrites, and anybody you ever sued for putting on like a elementary school screening of Frozen or The Lion King or Moana, you need to give them their money back right now. You owe those people a fucking apology. 2, some of this is like really like unsettling to me. Like again, like we have again, I don't know if it's a Disney thing, I don't know if it's a Marvel thing, I don't know if it's a Feige thing, I don't know if it's a Ryan Coogler thing, where it's like, we can't recast T'Challa, we can't have T'Challa and everything. Everything's T'Chaka or someone even further back than T'Chaka or Shuri. And again, if and I want to make it clear, if that's a Ryan Coogler decision, because Ryan Coogler was like dear friends with Chadwick Boseman,
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna shit on that. Like again, like hi, pasty Italian over here. It's not my place to weigh in on like how serious a loss Chadwick was, and like as a black icon in pop culture. Like, that's not my place to wade into that discourse. But like, if that's a Disney thing, if Sora AI Black Panther does not sound like Chadwick Boseman, I will be stunned. If AI Princess Leia Organa, even if it's animated, if it's an illustration, does not look like Carrie Fisher, does not sound like Carrie Fisher, I will be astounded. Because if we circle back to what you were saying with the Meat Canyon thing, if Bugs Bunny is not canonically a sex pest, how is what we're doing infringing upon your copyright? If
Mhm.
again, Leia does not look like Carrie Fisher, does not sound like Carrie Fisher, does not have her mannerisms, does not like speak whenever she is spoken to, about like the battle against the Galactic Empire, then what is this? Like, and again, this goes to like this degradation of like people's ability to engage in with art and media. I don't know when the nerds got fucking dumb. Like again, I don't like Travis. Maybe you and I just had a lot of cool friends in high school. I mean, we did have a lot of cool friends in high school, but even the people we didn't agree with on shit, even the people who I would say as they got older proved that they didn't quite understand the stories they loved. We have reached this like event horizon of it's flashing colors and characters you recognize. Like I saw this one AI slop video on Facebook where it was I want to tell you the top comment what it said before I tell you what the video was.
Jesus.
The top comment was, I can't believe AI is making better Star Wars stories than Disney can.
Yep, and yep. Go on.
Do you want to know what the AI video was?
Was it? I'm going to say something horrendous. Just please tell me.
It was an AI adaptation because it wasn't presented exactly as it was in the comic, but it was reframing scene by scene, line by line, a moment from a canon Disney produced Star Wars Marvel comic. And it is all of these people who were so again, and I use this as a microcosm because it's like you're so uncurious. You are so staunchly against the concept of intellectualism and approaching art to steal one of my favorite Ken Knapsack isms that like, stop asking about how and start asking about why. We're upset Han, Luke, and Leia aren't reunited in the sequel trilogy. I get that. But why did they make the choice not to do that? What were they saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like you have people who just so confidently are like, oh yeah, this is a better Star Wars story than Disney can make. You're wrong because Disney made it. And B, there's nothing to this. It's like the only emotional core here is from a story You can go to your local comic book shop. This was from the first volume of the Marvel Star Wars run that started in like 2014, 2015. And it's the moment like Boba Fett report. You've seen this panel 1,000 times. It's the moment Boba Fett reports back to Darth Vader and is like, I found the rebel who blew up the Death Star. What is his name? Skywalker. That'll be all, bounty hunter. Boba Fett walks away, and like the transparent steel like window Vader is standing in front of, spider webs. Just because like he's so furious in the Force that it just shatters the glass in front of him. Like a haunting moment from that comic that has actual context, emotional context, character beats. You know, so much of that moment is only powerful because Vader was already starting to put it together. Because the first issue of that comic, Luke and Vader fight for like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Vader sees Luke, or Luke sees Vader, draws his lightsaber, tries to bum rush him, says something to the effect of, you killed my father. It basically does like an Inigo Montoya, you know, and Vader has the badass line of, I've killed a lot of people's father's boy. You'll need to be more specific. Disarms Luke, catches the lightsaber and goes, what the fuck? Because it's Anakin's sword.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so like you have the beginning of that of Vader going like, okay, well, he was with Obi-Wan. So, okay, actually, I watched Obi-Wan take my lightsaber. So like maybe he just gave it to this kid. Well, that's kind of shitty of him. I didn't realize he just give away my lightsaber. What the fuck's up with that? And it's like started the wheels turning for Vader. And then Boba Fett going, the kid who blew up the Death Star is named Luke Skywalker. You know, you don't get 90% of that from this little AI video. It's not there. It's not there. What you see is Darth Vader, Boba Fett, Slave One, an X-Wing, a starfighter, and you just recognize it. You're not appreciating what is in front of you. You just see that there's something in front of you.
Big flashing lights.
It's flashing lights. You know, it is the, you know, again, it's an anti-intellectualism that I just cannot wrap my mind around. And it's shit like this. It's shit like, okay, well, like, people just want to see a character they recognize. They're not attached to that character. They're not attached to what makes them them. They're not attached to the stories about them. They just want to look at a thing they know. And I'm just so disgusted by the amount of people who are so happy to piss all over storytelling, you know, and the modern mythology that is Marvel Comics, the modern mythology that is Star Wars. You know, these foundational moments for so many kids, the first time they watch Disney or a Pixar movie, and like they go, oh my God, like this is so powerful. This makes me feel so many things. You know, it's just watering it down. And again, I don't know what the fuck. Again, even if I didn't think AI was this odious, and I'm sorry I'm rambling, but like even if I didn't think AI was this odious, like I don't know what am I gonna do with like Sora Thanos? What,
give him big tits.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Thanos just fuck you, melons. And what is this for?
It's so I can play with my action figures, but like not in the cool way.
No.
Like I don't. It's so strange. As someone who did for a brief period of time fall for the curtains are blue because I didn't want to do my English homework. Right. And then I don't know what made it click. That like what specific thing it was either Star Wars or Marvel something. Or maybe it was like it could have been a Dragon Ball thing. I don't know. There was something that just like made it click of like, oh no, I have been doing this my whole life. It's just that I didn't like I was told that I was bad at English.
Right.
Mustache hair. So I didn't like the books that were given to us in English class and didn't want to engage with them. because like I had constructed this whole thing of like, oh well, that's the concept of media literacy doesn't exist. And I think a lot of people our age and younger have not realized that they were capable of that. Like to them digging into a story, it has to be To Kill a Mockingbird. And you have to be answering the questions that your teacher asks you, and like you didn't actually read it, so you went to the Spark Notes and you got some half answers, and that got you the points on the quiz.
I just it's just as bleak as what you just said is, like there's a part of me that's like there's a part of me that even thinks it's bleaker.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, like and we're verging on having the same conversation we have almost every time we do this show. Of like just being angry at the fact that like all the nerds are dumb now. You know, like the nerds are fucking stupid now. But like I struggle so much with like you want to know what meme and phrase has really been getting my goat lately? I talked about this on an episode of Pro and Noob. I don't know if it's out yet because Mitch and I record like 2 or 3 of those a week, and I just completely lose track of what's out when. I talked about how, and you're going to laugh because this is going to be one of the most me things you've ever heard me say. I fucking hate hype moments and aura. That phrase, like my eyes turn yellow like I'm a Sith Lord, man. Like I'm like what does that even mean? Hype moments and aura. You mean exciting things in a story? You mean appreciating like characters doing cool things? You know? Like people are like, oh yeah, like all that movie had were hype moments and aura. What's a hype moment? Something that excited you? Well, that's a good thing. What do you mean it's only that? What do you mean it's only hype moments and aura? Define that.
Solo Leveling.
It's so funny because Mitch said the same fucking thing.
Solo Leveling is an
Mitch looked me straight in the eyes and said, read or watch Solo Leveling and you'll understand it. And I'm like, no.
Solo Leveling is a story entirely predicated on what if a protagonist was the most protagonist of all time, and all conflict in the story stops. I haven't read it. I've only watched it, but it stops after about the 4th episode of the show. After which, like, there's just no, like, imagine the worst fan fiction you've ever written about your Star Wars OC.
Oh my god.
That, but an anime. And I say that, like, I enjoyed watching Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
I've heard it's hype and aura.
It's hype and aura. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Like, but that's the thing. Like, I don't get like, you know, like I saw somebody was in the CBC Facebook group. I want to say it was Dalton. I can't remember. But like somebody was like, "Oh, the only good things about like it was a meme where it was like, you know, like quote unquote Star Wars fans where they have to watch the prequels, but it's not just a montage of like, you know, like hype Anakin highlights and like Padme thirst traps." And like the person was just like knocked out sleeping. And you know, I resent the prequel hate, but you know, but it's that. It's like, you know, like people are like, "Oh yeah, Anakin Skywalker is my favorite character," and it's all these badass things, and it's like, yeah, but you understand this is a tragedy, right? You understand that this story is like deeply upsetting, and it has this beautiful ending, but there's so much tragedy in the middle. You know, like, oh yeah, it was, you know, and then like, you know, we'll blame everybody but Anakin, and it's like, whoa. There's so much to unpack there. I don't want to make this about Star Wars, but it's just like the one that comes to me so quickly because I see so much of it. You know, and I think like the AIification, to bring this back, You know, I think you should get. Oh yeah, sure. Just do whatever you want with Han Solo and Sora, and it's like you just want to see Han Solo. You just want to make Han Solo do a thing you want him to do. You know, like you made the action figures joke, and you had the caveat of, pardon my hiccups, of like but not in the cool way. Like that's the insult. Like the Mando verse is always getting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau playing with your action figures. It's like no, they're like yeah, you're right, and that's awesome. Because they're telling like awesome, fun,
cool
pulpy stories. They're doing it the cool
Yeah.
way. It's not even that you're playing with your action figures. You want to go to Target and stare at an action figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not even playing with your action figures. You're staring at a fucking action figure. And not in a like, I bought a hot toy and I posed it and he's, and I got Captain America and he has a shield in one hand, a Mjolnir in the other, and it looks like he's running. And I like swapped out the arm. So it's like he has like the gash in his hand from fighting Thanos. Like no, that's evoking. That's evoking emotion, what you're doing right there. Playing with your action figures, you're telling a story. Even if it's rudimentary, even if it doesn't make any sense. You're playing with you're creating. You're going to Target and you're staring at racks of action figures and getting excited because you know who, Captain Marvel, oh, I know who Iron Man is. I know who the Hulk is. I know who Spider-Man is. But like, okay, cool. You know who they are. You have a Wikipedia list of feats and like storylines. No shade to a certain podcast that I see clips of all the time, but
no one's a fan of the Mandarin.
Who's a fan of the Mandarin? That type of thing. Like, that's what this is to me. Like, and again, I love the caveat of like not playing with your action figures in the cool way. Because again, I don't even think it's like even I don't think it is like it's staring at the box. Not as a collector, not as somebody who loves it, just still going at it. I know this. I know this thing.
Yep.
And like clapping in the toy aisle. And this is so bleak. And that has been okay. So we got all the depressing shit out and it's been an hour and 7 minutes. How about that Supergirl trailer? Unless you have any, I don't want to railroad you unless you have anything else to say. I apologize.
It's bad. It's a bad time. I hope Supergirl doesn't get. I hope James Gunn's DC universe does not get absolutely got by whatever happens to Warner Brothers.
I don't think it will. I think it will.
I think it's too popular and too easy to make money with.
Right. I think how much of a stranglehold Superman had on pop culture this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say that. Who fucking knows?
They've made worse decisions. They funneled $1 billion into OpenAI to steal their copyright. So who knows?
Anyway,
Supergirl trailer good.
So I will say I plan on reading Woman of Tomorrow before this comes out. I have not.
I've not
yet. So like I understand that like Woman of Tomorrow was like I can't say flashpoint, but like it was a flashpoint in the for Supergirl, not in terms of like the storyline, but like in terms of like we're gonna recharacterize her a little bit. And we're gonna add a little bit of sauce to this and switch things up and change it up and give her a new angle. And again, Supergirl's one of those characters I am mostly familiar with through animation.
Mm-hmm.
Where she is both Clark's senior, but also needs his mentorship. And like kind of accepting that role and, all the different iterations. Like all of it to say, I'm not as familiar with Supergirl. So like, I don't have like this excites me on I can see the story they're about to tell. And I'm excited to see this brought to life kind of way. But I really like the style here. I've seen a lot of the weird Guardians of the Galaxy comparisons. Cause I think again, like people just went, like there's music, like there's a classic rock song in this.
And she's wearing headphones that kind of resemble the headphones that Peter wears in Guardians. in a movie not directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's killing me. Is everyone's like, James Gunn is a one-trick pony. This is all he ever does. He also
They call him
didn't
One
make,
Chick James.
he also
He's got
didn't make
some-
this movie, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a good Trump. I start to fall into it, but then I can't quite lock it in.
That's the thing. So many people, this quick tangent. So many people do Trump like Alec Baldwin does Trump.
Yeah.
And Trump really hasn't sounded like that in 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's all up here. Yeah. What people don't understand, it's very raspy. It's very raspy. There's a lot of glissando. It's up and it's down. You know, the littlest sides. You know, that's the trick to it. But no, it's really cool. Jason Momoa is Lobo. He's like blink and you miss him in there. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I am
didn't-
sure Momoa is going to take up so much of the next trailer.
Yeah.
There's no way he doesn't.
I definitely did not see him the first time I watched it, and we watched it right before we hit record. And I saw him flash on the screen and went, "Oh, hey, I missed that." Hey, wait a minute.
I watched it at work on Instagram earlier today,
Mhm.
and I think my brightness was down too low because all I saw was like a silhouette. And granted, he is still mostly cast in shadow, but all I saw was like a silhouette and like a little red dot, and I was like, I think that's Lobo with a cigar in his mouth.
Mhm.
That's like because I know Lobo's in this, I know like all of that. So like context, that's probably him. It wasn't until I rewatched it, like I said, right before we started. I was going to say a little bit ago, but that was an hour and a half ago. But then I went, oh yeah, that's definitely Lobo, and that was the best look at him. But no, I'm really excited for this. I'm curious if this is going to have like again, not made by James Gunn. I'm curious if this is going to have that like James Gunn kind of like jukebox musical feel to it, only because of that moment where like Kara has the headphones on,
Mhm.
and I'm curious like. Again, it is not a James Gunn invention to have like the music be like the diegetic licensed music be like its own character. It's something he has become famous for. You know, like James Gunn has a lot of great needle drops. But I'm curious to see if that is a factor. I love seeing that Kara's outset here is Clark sees the good in everybody. I see the truth. And I would not be surprised if the end conclusion of that is Clark sees the good in everybody. I see the truth. And the truth is there is good in everybody.
Mhm.
You know, like for that to kind of like for it to kind of be like a cyclical kind of sentence there. But yeah, no, the action looks like a lot of fun. You know, we don't get to see a lot of Kara doing Kryptonian shit. I will also say I really love the line of you know, like when the other person in the trailer with her is talking about like, you know, seeing everything destroyed in one day with Krypton, and her response of, you know, Krypton wasn't destroyed in a day. No, like, you know, like gods aren't that merciful or whatever.
Mhm.
Like that. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see Kara get to live to get to live through that with Kara, because like she knows clearly she knows more than
Yeah.
Clark does. And you know, seeing her perspective on it, and maybe that's coloring her cynicism, that
Mhm.
it is that sense of like, yeah, like Krypton was actually terrible, and I come to Earth and people here fucking blow too, and there's this big dumb Boy Scout doing his thing, and it's all Pollyanna saccharine nonsense. I'm really excited to see what the angle is here.
Mhm.
Were you getting ready to say something? I thought I spoke over you.
No, you're good. No, I mean, like, I'm not going in with expectations, not in the sense of like, not in the sense of I think it's not going to be good, and not in the sense of like, I don't care, but like, I'm excited to just be given something new, and I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I've been engaging with James Gunn's DCU, is like, it's not going to be what I expect, and that's good.
Yeah.
And it's I like going in without the expectations. Like I think that's something that as an MCU fan, there was that point in time where we were trying to map out storylines from the comics into the MCU and map when they were trying, right? We're getting Captain America Civil War. We know we're
Right.
getting an Infinity Gauntlet thing, and we're like, oh, they're going to try to. And I'm glad they didn't go the route that we're going to directly adapt things because that
Right.
would have not worked.
It's funny. We're recording the Civil War episode of Road to Doomsday tomorrow. Little peek behind the curtain. We actually did things out of order because we knew we weren't going to have a chance to record with Alden for Doctor Strange. So we did the Doctor Strange episode before we did Civil War. But I remember talking to you when Civil War was coming out. And you were talking about the theory that like that shot in the trailer where Bucky's like trying to rip out Tony's arc reactor.
Mm-hmm.
That people thinking that him just kind of going, this grunting and straining was him saying, "You killed Steve."
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like they're going to kill Cap off and then Infinity Gauntlet bullshit
Right.
brings him back. And, I remember that vividly. All of that to say, I remember that
yes.
period in time vividly.
I forgot about that theory. I remember seeing Civil War like 4 times. So, but yeah, I like, there was a moment and like, it was simultaneously good because it meant I was learning more about storylines I hadn't read yet and reading those storylines, and bad because it was coloring an expectation of a thing. Now, thankfully, we're the smart nerds. And so when a thing wasn't exactly what I expected, I didn't go, well, that's bad.
Yeah.
But especially with this, like it's just been so fun to be like, yeah, whatever this movie has, I'm gonna, and like if I don't like something in it, that's sucks. But
it's not the end of the world either.
Yeah, and I imagine, given the track record, that we're going to come out of this movie and go, yeah, it was really that was awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. Other quick trailer note. I know you're super behind on The Boys. We did get our first teaser for the final season of The Boys.
I did see.
I have made the mistake of becoming a Pittsburgh sports fan, so the trailer being soundtracked by Renegade by Styx, there was a crowd pop from me. Very excited for that. Again, it's very much like flashes and teases. There's not a whole lot of meat on the bone there, but that was very exciting. A couple speed run stories here before we get out. Famous last words from me. There is reporting going around. So we know almost for sure that Zoe Kravitz will not be back as Selena Kyle in the Batman Part 2. Now, there are rumors floating around that Scarlett Johansson is circling a deal to be in the Batman Part 2. Now, I don't think she's playing Catwoman.
No,
they're not.
That would be insane.
That would be batshit crazy, no pun intended.
Yeah, not insane in the like, it would be so crazy if they got Scarlett, oh my god, but in the like recasting a woman of color with Scarlett Johansson in the big 2025, soon to be big 2026 would be the ultimate, like, the only way it would be worse if it was fucking Sydney Sweeney. You know what I mean? And that's not because I think ScarJo is like an alt-right icon, although she is by proxy by being a woman with large bazongas.
Yes.
But
who is occasionally blonde.
Who is occasionally blonde. It is the only like stance the right can agree on is big tits. It's the only thing that they stand for and believe in. And I will die on that hill.
So, okay, who do you think? Who do you think she might be playing? I am very much married to the theory that she's playing the Phantasm. That's not going to be it. It's not going to fucking happen.
I've never considered a live action Phantasm, but God, it would be so good.
Again, part of that, like in the very much like the and I'm going to make my own idea sound terrible immediately. It's very much the like Keanu Reeves kind of looks like the quote unquote canon Revan. You know, like, oh, when I think of Scarlett Johansson, I'm really just thinking about Natasha Romanoff. And, you know, and she has red hair, and, you know, Andrea Beaumont has red hair, and oh, there you go. That one's cool to me. I've seen people throw Poison Ivy out there. I don't think that's it for this universe. You know, like
it feels too early to have powers.
Exactly. I don't think we're seeing anybody who's powered.
Could be Vicky Vale. Was there Vicky Vale in Batman? I genuinely can't remember.
I don't think so.
Could be Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale would be interesting. I'm looking at this IGN article because I wanted to get like the details about whether like because it is Deadline who broke the story. I think it was Deadline. It says Deadline in here. The hilarious list they have. I'm just going to read directly from the article. Though characters like Poison Ivy, Batgirl, Talia al Ghul, or even Andrea Beaumont, or Andrea, I can't remember how they say her name in the Mask of the Phantasm, but please don't do Talia. I really don't need another white Al Ghul. Especially since Damian is going to be in Brave and Bold. We're almost certainly getting a Talia in there. Though, like the Al Ghul family casting is one of the things that has me on the edge of my seat in the worst way possible. You know, I was literally just talking to somebody I work with, and he was talking about how much he loves the Dark Knight trilogy, and I was like, yeah, they're really good. I was like, it is hilarious, however, that like two of Batman's like most famous non-white villains are played by some of the whitest people ever in those movies, with Liam Neeson playing Ra's al Ghul and then Tom Hardy playing Bane.
Yeah,
you know, like, but yeah, I'm curious about this. Batgirl would be interesting.
There's simply can't. That woman is 40. There's simply no way.
There's simply no way. Like
they just can't. They just if they try
on so many levels. Like you're right. Like she's 40.
I think she's like 45. She's like. I don't want to.
It would be weird if Batgirl is older than Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
B. Again, they can go whatever direction they'd like, you know, adaptations, provided it's still Barbara Gordon. Jeffrey Wright is James Gordon, or Jim Gordon. So, I don't know, maybe Jim adopted her, but by all metrics, I don't think that's what Batgirl would look like. Poison Ivy... Again, I don't think we're getting powers, and I really don't want to see a, like, quote unquote, like gritty, grounded Poison Ivy. I have no desire to see a version of Poison Ivy that isn't like talking to plants and shit.
Yeah.
Talia, no. Like not even Talia, no, because like again, like you need to cast a Middle Eastern woman to play Talia al Ghul. There's also, again, like I think since she's almost certainly going to be in Brave and Bold,
doubling up would be a lot.
Like there are certain characters that you double up on. Obviously, we're already doubling up on the Batman, but again, there have been the rumors since day one that Robin might be in this. You can double up on Robin, especially because it could be different Robins.
Yeah, like knowing that this is going to be if Robin's in this, it's going to be young starter Dick Grayson, unless there's a huge time skip, and that we know that like just based on the name Brave and the Bold, the Robin we're getting is probably going to be Damian. And
they said whenever James Gunn announced that initial slate, he said Damian Wayne Robin.
So. Yeah, I'm going to lock in Vicky Vale.
Okay. I know I'm wrong. I'm locking in Andrea Beaumont.
Fair. I hope you're right.
I'm taking a big swing. I want it to be the Phantasm. Again, this is the most Keanu Reeves as Revan-ass fan casting ever. from me. I want this badly. So yeah, there's that. And then a couple blitz things real quick because, like I said, Game Awards were, at least they were happening while we started recording. A new Dungeons and Dragons video game got announced at the Game Awards called Warlock, which I am excited by because, as everybody knows, Baldur's Gate 3 owned me in the year 2025. I belong to that game almost exclusively.
Larian did announce a new game, by the way.
I saw they're doing another Divinity, which means I'm
yeah.
going to end up having to make time to play the other Divinity games.
Yeah.
So that I can play this because I am very quickly going to become like a Larian, like loyal customer. But this is from IGN from Alessandro Filari. This article was posted like at 10 o'clock. So this is brand new. The Dungeons and Dragons franchise has been steadily making more attempts to expand into video games, and we're seeing that next effort with Warlock Dungeons and Dragons, a new open-world single-player action-adventure that's all about wielding dark magic to battle foes. The term expressive magic is being thrown around here. Just revealed at the Game Awards, Warlock Dungeons and Dragons is the new project from developers Invoke Studios, the creators of D&D Dark Alliance, set in the D&D universe. Warlock focuses on the adventures of a warrior named Katari, who embraces newfound dark powers to unleash some otherworldly magic in her fight against forces invading the land. Quote, Warlock is a third-person action-adventure game built around immersive, expressive magic where you use spellcraft to solve challenges and take down monsters. And you do it all in your own creative way across all facets of the game, said Jeff Haddam, creative lead at Invoke. So I'm very excited by this. Warlock is probably my second favorite. Warlock is probably my second favorite D&D class. Part of that is because I just like the concept of it. Just like, yeah, there's so much flavor you can do with it in traditional D&D. Based on the way people talk about Baldur's Gate on the internet, I think I'm the only person who can efficiently use Will Ravengard in combat. Because Will is broken. It's funny, I got to have the best of both worlds in my most recent playthrough because I multi-classed Will into, obviously he's a warlock by default. But I used like the patch 8, so I made him a Hexblade warlock because he's, blade of the frontiers, swashbuckler. So I gave him like the combatant, sword fighter one. And then I multi-classed him into Oath of Devotion Paladin. I realized I broke Will by doing that because I made him too strong. And because he's an Oath of Devotion Paladin, you get in trouble if you kill city guards. So when I got to Act 3 and I had to like break somebody out of a prison, I killed a bunch of Flaming Fist as Will. Because I was able to use his like crazy high warlock spell slots to do Divine Smite.
Yeah.
And was just liquefying a bunch of Flaming Fists, and it broke his oath.
How did it feel to play Fig Faith?
Pretty fucking awesome, if I'm being honest. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah.
I also find myself accidentally building Emily Axford characters. Before my last campaign, my last real D&D campaign dissolved, I was accidentally building Saccharina from Crown of Candy.
Oh, yeah. So. Well, and I will say, so I'm doing a D&D one-shot. I mean, it's going to turn into a 2 or 3 shot. It is Andy. They are a frequent contributor on Casterly Talk. I just realized I've never said the name of that show out loud, and I like got tongue-tied. Even though I've said Casterly Rock before because I watch Game of Thrones. They're a frequent contributor over there. They're brilliant. They were on KNR not too long ago for our Acolyte 1 year later discussion. But they're DMing, and it's me, Michael, and Alden. And it's a homebrew campaign, like one-shot campaign that Andy has. They said they've run it countless times. Michael Alden and I kind of got into a closer. We're like, what if we all play a warlock? Because I am trying to demystify spell casting. You know, like
Can I interest you in something that I've developed for a one that became a 3 or 4 shot
sure.
with some of my pit friends?
Yep.
You ever heard of an eloquence bard?
I've never heard of an eloquence bard. Tell me more.
What if I went around to towns and I was a bard and I was specifically in the an eloquence bard, and my whole thing was getting into trouble by lying to people, maybe being a charlatan, maybe trying to sell them something, convince them of some weird theories. Maybe I'm trying to sell them a supplement. What if I was Alex Jones?
Okay, can I tell you? I've actually had an idea for how I would make Alex Jones in D&D. A sentence that surprises fucking nobody. He would be a barbarian.
Yeah, we aren't high enough level where I can fully multi-class. We are level 5. That would be so.
That's my idea. Is barbarian,
I'm
and
pulling
his
up my
name would
character
be
sheet right
Emmerich
now.
because that's Alex's.
So my name is Johnson Grifterman.
You're gonna love my character for Andy's campaign. By the way, just keep going because I cannot wait to tell you this.
So as an eloquence bard, you get this really cool ability because you get bardic inspiration, right? Like usual.
Right.
You also get this thing called unsettling words. As a bonus action, you can expend one use of your bardic inspiration and choose one character you can see within 60 feet. Roll the bardic inspiration die. That creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn.
This is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I will eat your liberal ass. Negative bardic inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. So my charisma is also so high. I have a +10 to deception and persuasion, and I get like a +7 to performance because bard.
Naturally.
Charlatan bard. And I did sell penis enlargement potion to a rat.
I'm so mad at you for not telling me about this sooner. I'm like actually upset with you that this is the first I'm hearing about this.
This only happened recently. This is not
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah. This wasn't months ago. This is like last week. This is the session I thought I was having tonight, and then realized,
right. I was about to say, yeah.
I did try to fuck a dragon as well. That's separate.
Attaboy.
I'm playing a bard, so I have to. It was because I was in a room alone with it, and I was like, this is the only way it doesn't immediately kill me. Did work, didn't fuck.
You're
the rat
lady dragon. Anyway.
She is? Love is love. And
you Shrek jokes. You love is love.
So we were in a dungeon. There was a rat. I have speak with animals, and I did fake talking rat to it. I rolled so high that I faked talking rat to it to sell it penis enlargement pills, and then it showed interest. So then I cast speak with animals, and it jumped into a potion vial full of poisoned water. I didn't know it was poison at the time. And as we kept saying, started jorking it, and then it got so big that it broke out of the jar and died.
You need to talk to your DM to homebrew you a potion of like superior male vitality.
Yeah. I told him
we're going straight for the InfoWars supplements.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm like, I have 10 health potions. Don't worry. These aren't real. I'm not cheating. I will try to sell these to people as if they're going to grant them superhuman strength. And all it's going to do is make them a little more red.
Slightly more red. So it's really funny you say that because my initial idea I realized very quickly was going to be way too convoluted. Not convoluted, but like I was like, ooh, I kind of want to save this for like a long-term campaign. because I had this idea for like this guy who like I didn't even have all the details fleshed out. It was a guy who like a loved one went missing, and they were already an investigator by trade, and they were looking into what happened, and they realized that this person who was important in their life. They were like, oh, they were part of this like weird cult, and like there was a schism in the cult, and like some of them are in hiding, some of them are dead. I don't quite know what's up, and like they made a pact with like the being that was giving half of the cult their powers, and then the half that broke away went to a new patron. Was the idea I had, and I was like, this is really cool. I would rather do this as like a full-fledged character.
Yeah. See, I didn't trust myself to have Alex Jones as a full campaign character, and I was like, okay, this is a one shot. I can get away with this, and it's going to be fine.
So I then went, okay, and I was like, I don't want, because again, my thing with this was like, I do not want to play a melee, in your face, like DPS character. I mean, my guy, I won't even say his name yet, but like my guy he's pretty DPS oriented, but it's like distance spell casting because I'm trying to break the mold of playing paladins and fighters and whatnot. And my original idea, so the idea I came onto is we're doing Forgotten Realms. So I was like, oh, like he's a guy who's like worked in like water deep politics, and he's kind of been like the sniveling advisor in the corner. He's like he is on the record as like a Grand Vizier type. He's really a fixer. And I initially was joking about how I'm going to make fantasy Michael Cohen. And the more I talked about this character, and the more I was like hamming him up to be like just cartoonishly fucked up and with like being very ostentatious. The original idea I came up with was that his name was Gregor Stone. And then his name is Gregor Bain. And then I realized
I'm sick of being called a grifter. I'm sick of being
fucking Roger Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was already Gregor, so I changed the last name to Stone, and then realized that Gregor is an anagram of Roger, and I didn't even do that on purpose. So while you're playing your bard Alex Jones, I am literally doing a one-shot right now where I'm playing as Roger Stone. And in Roger Stone fashion, I did in fact have a like lascivious orgy in this town already.
That's good. That's good.
But yeah, so all of that to say, I'm excited to get more acquainted with the Warlock class. One other bit before we get out of here. We got a trailer for the Street Fighter movie. I'm actually going to throw it on screen real quick because I know you haven't had a chance to see it. I am so Street Fighter, everybody knows I'm a big fighting game guy. Street Fighter is unfortunately like the one fighting game franchise I have never been able to get good at. I've also never really played Tekken, so I haven't given that a shot. But
Tekken's so weird. I've tried Tekken. It's not for me.
People tell me I should try it out because it's the 8-way run like Soul Calibur.
Yeah, it is.
And I think I would like that. But the music choice for this Street Fighter sneak peek has me so excited. It's one of my favorite indie hip-hop groups. Joey Valance and Bray. Their song Punk Tactics. So that makes me excited, but this trailer fucking rips. Fucking Cody Rhodes with the guile hair is so funny. This is like might be the only time I ever bring my Cody Rhodes shirt out of retirement is to see this movie. The cast for this is also stacked, by the way. Like we're gonna look at like this little look at like character posters real quick too. Are you aware of everyone who is in the Street Fighter movie?
They did come out and present an award. Yeah. At the Game Awards. That's why I didn't know Andy Schultz was gonna be in this.
Yeah.
Why?
That.
Why?
So a better look at the characters that are in the trailer. So we got Andrew Koji as Ryu, Noah Santo as Ken. You got Chun-Li. I really think, I don't know if it makes me a hypocrite or not that I'm already marking out just to see Cody anywhere else at the WWE. Like, this is fucking awesome. This is fucking awesome. This is the coolest shit ever. Is this man in this ridiculous outfit? Got Orville Peck in there, which I think is sweet. 50 Cent is Balrog. Jason Momoa. Like this, it's just like kind of insanely stacked cast. Yeah, I would say Des Malchin is M. Bison, which I think is inspired casting. I think that is a out of the park casting choice. And then I also Roman Reigns pisses me off because I think his politics are insane. I always find it interesting when somebody uses their real name when they're not doing their other thing. And I think it's interesting. I don't know if this was a studio thing that like he wanted to be in the movie as Joe Anawahi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he chose for it to be Joe Roman Reigns Anawahi.
Yeah, kind of like how fucking The Rock was trying to get rid of The Rock for a bit.
Yeah. But like it's like 50 Cent, when he acts, a lot of the time he will either do Curtis Jackson or Curtis 50 Cent Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is normal for him to use both names. And I think, Cody's is just Cody Rhodes. Because his real name is Cody Rummels. Which I think is interesting that he's using his stage name completely.
Yeah, but I think that's just because, like, I didn't know that wasn't his real name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Dustin Rummels is his father's name. And then, his older brother, Dustin Rhodes, is just Dustin Rummels Jr., I believe.
Yeah.
But, there's Andrew Schultz. Yay.
He didn't vote for it, by the way.
What?
Said he didn't vote for it.
No, he didn't vote for this. But yeah, just ridiculously stacked cast that I'm so excited for this movie. I every couple of years I'm like, I'm gonna try to get good at Street Fighter now. I'm gonna try again before this movie comes out. So very excited for that. Also, we'll be talking about it soon on KNR. I just feel the need to address it now. Fate of the Old Republic. Holy fucking shit. The word I haven't seen like an official source for this, but I trust Alex Damon. Star Wars Explained was posting about how it is a reimagining of the Old Republic with new characters. But also the trailer has Revan's capital ship, the Leviathan, in it, or at least a ship like the Leviathan. So word is, we'll find out soon, I'm sure, about the canonicity of this game. But that's going to be a conversation for KNR. And I think they just announced a fucking pod racing game too, like right at the end. But yeah, with that, I think that's all we got. A little bit of programming note here. I want to do our favorite things from 2025, movies, TV, video games, music. I would like to do that before the end of the year. Odds are it's going to come out early January. So if we're able to do that before the end of the year, that will be the last episode of Teen App of 2025. If it is not, this will probably be it, which I kind of like the symmetry that last year we ended 2025 with Superman trailer talk. We get to end it with a little bit of super trailer talk here. Of course, last year, that episode was fully just the Superman trailer talk and not Hollywood just fucking itself in the face to death.
Yeah.
But if this is the last episode of the year, I do want to say, again, thank you so much for 5 years of the Nerd Academy. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in, who has supported us, be it on Patreon or just by watching or listening. It's greatly appreciated. I'm very proud of what we've built so far. I'm really proud of Road to Doomsday. Like I said, I'm very grateful for the really good response it's been getting. It's been an absolute blast. So thank you for another year of the Nerd Academy podcast. If this is it for the year, and in particular, thank you for 5 years of it. But with that, Travis, where can the lovely people find you, my man?
Ethereally in the ether, begging for data centers to be put into Minecraft, if you take my meaning.
Ethereally in the ether is fucking awesome.
Jared,
Yeah.
where
you I don't know if it picked up in the I mean, I heard it, so it probably did. There was such a faint echo. You guys can find me personally on Twitter, not Twitter, on Blue Sky and Instagram. It's the second time this week I said Twitter instead of Blue Sky. You can find me on Blue Sky and Instagram at Dark Jedi 2552. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. You also go to our website, thenerdacademypodcast.com. We have a Patreon. $5 patrons get early access to Road to Doomsday and exclusive access to our audio commentary series. I had to figure out a couple technical issues. I don't know if anybody saw my post. For whatever reason, our podcast feed isn't updating. I need to figure that out. I don't know what it is. That's part of why Taylor and I, by tomorrow, will have recorded 3 episodes that will be going on Patreon the moment I have this issue figured out and I can schedule them for the main feed. But tomorrow, once we get that done, you're going to get, what was it? You're going to be getting Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, and Doctor Strange all on the Patreon feed. And on Monday, when this is out, you'll be seeing Guardians of the Galaxy 1 if you're not subscribed to the Patreon. So if you would like to binge more of Road to Doomsday or just get episodes early or watch the movies along with us through the audio commentary tracks, $5 on Patreon. And then our $10 patrons obviously get that, as well as a shout out at the end of every episode. So thank you to Paco and Ray Clausen. But again, thank you very much for 5 years of the Nerd Academy. If we don't see you guys again before then, or you don't catch an episode of episode of KNR with Ken next Thursday, happy holidays, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, be safe. Thank you so very much for being a part of this wild ride, and class dismissed.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.